Hi, welcome back to our video fly tying series. I'm Steve Worley, owner and guide here at the WORLEY-BUGGER Fly Company. And today I'm going to show you how to tie the 3-stage mayfly adult. So earlier this spring I did 2 separate videos for you. I did the mayfly cripple and the mayfly emerger. And today we're going to finalize the 3 sets of videos with the adult version here and show you how they all integrate together with a barbless hook and integrating a loop here in the back of the barbless dry fly. So stay tuned. I'm going to show you how to tie this up. Okay, so let's get started here. The first thing that we're going to do is we're going to load a barbless dry fly hook into the vise. This is a size 12, and we'll lay down a thread base starting behind the eye, moving towards the bend. We get to the bend, can stop. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to build our loop connection, and we're going to do this with some SA cider material. This is the best material that I've found so far to build these loops on our dry flies. It's super strong. This is 0x, so it's 11 pound. Haven't broken any yet. Usually the connection with the tippet is usually what gives way, with big fish when they're eating the cripple or the emerger. So what you're going to do, measure out your body about 3/4 of the way up, and we're going to secure this to the side. This is 14-aught Vivus. It's super strong. So you want to pull tight, securing this to the hook. Okay, so once that's secured, and you're going to do the same exact thing on the other side, forming your loop. And the loop doesn't have to be big, just has to be big enough to get a perfection loop in there. So you can kind of make a couple of thread wraps and then see what your loop looks like. And if you're happy with the size of it, you can start tying. Again, get it on the side of your hook there, and then trim it off. And then again, we're going to lay down a thread base here, nice and tight. Just secure that. We don't want it coming undone when a fish is on. So you can even take your scissor there, or bodkin, whatever you want to do, and put it in there, and you can test that connection and make sure that it's strong. But just for safety purposes too, we'll take a little bit of Solarez here. You can use super glue too if you like. And this will help reinforce the connection and keep it secure. So if you use UV glue, just take and burn the glue. It's good. So once your loop is formed, you're going to take a Coq de Leon feather. And this is medium part O because it's colored perfectly for March Browns. And that's the mayfly that we're simulating here. So we'll cut that from the middle. Really stiff fibers, great for tails on mayflies. You can take and do a measurement there. Should be about the length of your shank. Run the thread back, it's a little easier to connect it. Get that in place, and then you can mount that to the body. And that's secure. Okay, so our body material, we're going to use the same material that we used in our cripple and in our emerger, which is a stripped turkey biot. And you just need one. Remove that from the stem. They're kind of conical shaped. They have kind of a curve to them. So you push that, put that curve up against the body with the tip forward, and then we'll tie that in. Move your thread back forward so you can tie it off. It's easier for me to wrap these with a good hackle plier. So attach your hackle plier and then start counter winding it, watching the point of those hooks because those things are sharp and they'll shred. So just move forward and once you get to the end, you can secure the biot in place. And you can see how it's formed that segmented look to your body of your fly. So the next thing that you're going to add is a thin strip of 1 millimeter foam, and it should be about the width of what your body is. So you're going to take and you're going to lay that up on top of the fly. It's best to keep it a little long, and then we can adjust all the proportions at the end. So make a half dozen turns securing that foam, and then pull the flap up and move your thread forward, and then back it off several turns just so you're not crowding the eye of the hook. For when you go to finish your fly, you're not running out of room. And then we'll tie off the front of that. And then again, you can just trim that excess off, but leave it long. And then we'll just move the thread back to the base of that back piece of foam there. Next thing we're going to add is our crystal flash legs. And again, same as the emerger and the cripple. We're going to take one piece of crystal flash and we're going to double it up. Try to get it as even as possible. and then you're just going to lay it right on top. And you can pinch your fingers there and just make a couple of wraps, and that secures it in place. See, it's not going anywhere. I've showed you this technique in a lot of my videos where we're adding rubber legs, and then you just take and cut the loop there. So this material is quite a bit thinner, so if you can't tell which leg is which, you can just kind of lightly pull, and then you'll see which way it needs to go. And then you can secure them tightly. Kind of pull them out, do a thread wrap around them. That'll get the legs splayed out, get them away from the body, creating a good silhouette there on the water when it's fishing. It's all about having a good fishy fly. And then once those are secure, you can pull on them a little bit and make sure they're not moving, so your fly is durable. And then move your thread right to the middle of your thorax there, so we can add our wing. We're going to make our wing out of snowshoe rabbit dubbing. So again, match the color of your wing with your adult. So this being March Brown, we're going to use brown snowshoe. And again, we'll give you a little reminder about snowshoe rabbits. Their fur is waterproof, keeps moisture, and keeps the cold out. The cool little animal. They turn white this time of year to blend in with their surroundings, so they're camouflaged from predators and big birds, eagles, ospreys, coyotes, anything that might want to eat a little snowshoe rabbit. It's a cool little animal. So what you're going to do is you're going to take a good portion of dubbing and you're going to kind of lay it right out in front of you, and you're just going to roll it kind of tightly, rolling all the fibers together. You're going to lose a little bit of it just because it is dubbing, but once we get it secured, it will be in place. So take and wrap it around your thread there right in the middle, like so, and then just pull it right down to the middle of the thorax there, and then kind of pull tight. And then what we'll do is we'll just make several wraps right through the middle of the wing, binding it, securing it in place. And then in the front and behind. You can see I can pull on that now and it's not going anywhere. And again, it's all right if it's long. We're gonna trim it all in the end here. So the next thing we're gonna add is our hackle. And I like to use furnace hackles. You can see it's got this nice black vein running down the middle. But you can use a brown or a grizzly brown, whichever you have available. So we'll take and we'll expose the stem, pull the fibers off, and we'll lay that right in on the thorax there. And then we'll bind that down real good. Secure it in place. And then you can pull on that too and test it, make sure that it's secured, not going anywhere. And then we're just going to take and we're going to add a little bit more dubbing just to the thorax here, just to give a little bit more flotation, a little more durability to the fly. And then it also helps give us a binder for the hackle to lay in. So you don't need much, just real thin. This is really easy dubbing. It's rabbit dubbing, so it goes on really, really nice. Really easy to dub. So we'll just make a few wraps behind the wing there. Go right in between the wing. And then right in front. So now we're going to wrap the hackle. We're going to make 1, 2, 3, do 3 or 4, and then a couple in front of the wing. And pull it tight. And we'll capture it and we'll tie it in. Once that's tied in, you got to be really careful. Watch where your legs are, and you don't want to cut them off. And we'll just pull this flap up. And we'll make a few wraps behind the eye. And half hitch. Pull tight, and again, don't cut your legs off. Now, the final stage, we can just start trimming and manage our proportions here on the fly. So just a little bit at a time till you get it looking the way that you want it. Remember, once you cut it, you can't add, so just a little bit at a time until it starts looking right to you. And then, again, we want a little bit of foam sticking off the front of the eye there. That's going to help track, push water, create a little bit of a disturbance, a little wake on the water. And then this back piece of foam as well, cut it. That'll help expose the body. And then our wing, we just usually just like to angle that just a little bit just to give it that sail look. And there we have it. That is the snowshoe 3-stage adult March Brown Mayfly. So stay tuned, and now next I'll show you how it all integrates together with the loop connection that we made, where you can fish the cripple or the emerger behind it during big intense hatches of March Browns or any mayfly that you happen to encounter. Okay, so for illustration purposes here, I've taken a piece of 5X tippet and tied a perfection loop in it and thread it through the loop here. And then you'll take and connect it to your loop, just like so. And then we'll take our cripple or emerger and we'll tie it to our tippet. Snap off our excess. Now we have our tandem rig connection. With our point fly here and our trailing fly here. And again, the reason why we do this, the barbless hook keeps us from having to tie off the bend and having the tippet slide off, especially fluorocarbon being slicker, and also creates less problems tying to the front of the eye with another fly, which can cause, you know, micro drag or extensive drag on the fly. So this way we have no drag and we're able to fish two tandem flies together.